It's Graham Forbes. I'm the president of the Dairy Connect Farmers Group, and yes, the industry is going through an interesting time at the moment. We're seeing, after the Murray Goulburn debacle and Saputo coming in, that'll be a transition period. Hopefully that goes through smoothly, and also we've seen the ACCC report come out, as well as the milk price indexing being announced, and it's going to be quite a game changer if that price index is used correctly. It should be a tool that farmers can use and processors use to set the milk price and set bases within the milk price, as well as quite a useful tool throughout the industry in budgeting and the use of dairy breeding indexes and using those figures.
Next week, Graham, we've got a major dairy conference in Melbourne, bringing all the industry players together. Do you think that there's an opportunity for the industry to be looking to the next generation, and how do you think that can be achieved through this conference?
Oh, certainly, most of the major bodies are indicating we need to have change. I think David Inall, the ADF, has said on a number of occasions we need change so we can improve farmer advocacy, particularly in Canberra. I think there's a real feeling in the industry that we haven't performed very well in the last couple of years. We've had the community on side, but we haven't advocated effectively in the last couple of years, and the industry is probably paying the price a bit for that at the moment.
And how will dairy industry associations be able to leverage off what we learn?
Well, let's hope that there's a positive outcome that comes out of that, rather than the current situation. We've basically got too many rubber boots in the room, and I think we can see other sections of the industry with only one lobbyist or whatever, and being very, very effective, whereas the farmers are quite divided, and actually, it's quite effective if you don't want to, dividing it up is a very effective way of making advocacy very ineffective.
And if you had to say a few last words about where you think the industry needs to go, what would those be?
Oh, the industry needs to have one major voice and represented by a very narrow group, and come to quite a peak body. And I think even if we had one employee doing all the work, we'd be a lot further in front than the myriads of employees that we have now advocating for the industry and not being successful.